two popular Ultrabooks face off. One big question. Which one really delivers? On the left, the budget-friendly Acer Swift 3, offering everyday power for students and pros. And on the right, the eye-catching ASUS ZenBook 13, famous for its dazzling OLED display and mobile-friendly design. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real stuff. Each category earns points, and at the end, you'll see exactly who comes out on top. The result might not be what you expect. Here's the mind map, guys. These are the main categories we're going to dive into. Price and value, performance and storage, display, battery life, portability and build, keyboard and features, and connectivity and ports. So yeah, each round is going to get a winner. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one's for you. All right, let's kick things off with price and value. First up, Acer Swift 3. Honestly, if you're on a budget, this thing is pretty hard to beat. We're talking around $500, which for what you get is kind of wild. It covers all your basic needs and saves you a chunk of cash. Sure, you lose out a bit on that premium feel, but for everyday use, solid value. Now, the ZenBook 13 swings in with serious style, but it's a fair bit pricier, around $890. I mean, you do get that OLED screen and that super slick design, but let's be real, it's not the cheapest. If you're after value, the Swift 3 definitely pulls ahead here. Moving on to performance and storage. Acer Swift 3 brings an Intel i5 12th Gen, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes SSD. So multitasking, big spreadsheets, piece of cake. It won't run Cyberpunk or anything, but for general stuff, that extra RAM is sweet. ZenBook 13 rolls out with a Ryzen 7, also a solid chip, and the same 512 gigabytes SSD, but only 8 gigabytes of RAM, which, yeah, makes a difference if you're a tab hoarder. Both machines aren't meant for heavy gaming or massive workloads, but honestly, Swift 3's got the edge for heavy multitaskers. Okay, let's talk displays. This is where things get kinda spicy. Swift 3's rocking a 14-inch IPS touchscreen, which is bright and totally usable for, well, normal stuff. But yeah, colors and brightness are just fine. The ZenBook 13, though, it's got a 13.3-inch OLED panel. And oh, here's something cool. The contrast, colors, and viewing angles are freaking gorgeous. It's just so much more vibrant. The trade-off? No touchscreen and a slightly smaller screen. But come on, that OLED really does steal the show in terms of looks. Quick pause. Did you know Acer Swift 3 gives you way more RAM for less money? But if you're a sucker for visuals, the ASUS ZenBook 13's OLED, yeah, it's something you've got to see in person. Seriously. Now, battery life. Crucial if you're running between classes or like bouncing from coffee shop to coffee shop. Swift 3 gives you around 12 hours, which is honestly more than most people need. It's got a smaller battery, so I guess it's efficient. ZenBook 13 packs a bigger battery, but since OLEDs are thirsty, it lasts around 9 hours, which is not bad, but honestly, not top tier. So Swift 3 wins this one for all-day use. On to portability and build. Acer Swift 3 has a solid build, weighs just under 3 pounds, and fits in most backpacks. But yeah, it's a tiny bit larger, not the sleekest. ZenBook 13, it's lighter, thinner, feels much more premium, and honestly, that metal chassis does look cool in a coffee shop. There are fewer ports, but if you care about style and carrying something super light, ZenBook takes this round. Now for keyboard and features. Swift 3 gives you a backlit keyboard, fingerprint reader, and that handy touchscreen. Little details that make life easy, right? The number pad's missing, but most people don't need it. ZenBook 13, on the other hand, has a backlit keyboard and a number pad, plus better speakers. But there's no touchscreen or fingerprint reader, which, let's be honest, can be a bit of a letdown. For versatility, Swift 3 snags it. Last, let's check connectivity and ports. Swift 3 has 2 USB-A ports, 2 Thunderbolt 4s, and triple display outputs. But wait for it. No HDMI built right in. ZenBook 13 goes with USB-C, 1 USB-A, same number of display outputs, and those snazzy thin bezels. But no Thunderbolt, so pro users might be bummed. Really? At the end of the day, it's a tie. It totally depends on what you actually need. All right, let's look at the radar chart for these two. Swift 3 basically sweeps value, battery, and multitasking, while ZenBook 13 shines in display and slim design. It's like classic practical versus premium showdown. So honestly, if you want the best value for daily use, need lots of storage, or care about battery life, Acer Swift 3 is probably your pick. But if you want that super stunning OLED screen and a really compact Ultrabook, ZenBook 13 is just different. Pick based on what matters for your hustle. If this comparison helped at all, don't forget to check out Acer.com or ASUS.com to get the latest updates. And hey, snag a deal before prices